Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. You can see our oil refinery here, or fuel refinery, I suppose. You're also going to see that there's nothing coming out the top of it. That's because nobody's working here. It's been becoming increasingly difficult to get workers for all of our stuff, and that is just the natural thing that happens in this game. As you expand to new industries and you unlock new buildings and I can make new resources now, you find that the number one bottleneck that you will always have is workers. And workers, well, they're very needy sons of bees, you know? So we need to provide for them in a scaled up way. It's all about scaling your economy up over time. Sometimes you add resources, now you lack workers, then you add workers, and you have availability for new resources. Now, in most circumstances, I probably wouldn't have built this building yet, but I figured this was the best time to do it because we had a huge expense. Fuel and bitumen was a big expense, fuel particularly. By having this building operational, at least part of the time, I can reduce our need to buy foreign fuel forever, at least for the very long, far out future. And that's ultimately why I decided to go with this, even though I don't have workers to work this continuously. However, if I can have an average of about 40 workers in this building, I can at least produce fuel at the rate at which oil is being pumped into this building. So I've been watching this for the last month or so in game. Let's just speed up time. I've been watching this for the last month or so in game, and I've come to realize that around 40, 39 or 40, is the point in which the oil is coming in at the exact pace in which we are able to work it. So there's no point in having 500 people in here or even 100 people in here because they're only going to be able to work on average over the long term as fast as our oil can come in. And that's right now about 40 people. So if I can sometimes have more people, sometimes have less, that would be good. At the moment, most of the time, it's less. We can get around this idea. I'm going to go down to 1 speed actually. We can get around this by having more workers, which is what we're going to focus on in the second half of this video today. We're going to focus on what our expansion looks like for workers. But before we do that, I want to fix something, okay? Yes, it's true. We're not buying fuel anymore. We're not buying bitumen anymore. We're also at the moment buying power because it's so intermittent and I can't keep this building running half the time. So I'm going to turn this on to export now. There we go. Hopefully get our money back up. I'm going to leave this here just in case people start, complaining about power again. So, not buying. Let's take a look at the budget really quick, right? We take a look at it's this one right here, imports. So this month we have not imported fuel at all. We've imported no bitumen, no fuel. Someone is still bringing in coal, and I have to figure out who the hell this is. But we haven't done anything like that, okay? So we imported a little bit of power, but it's insignificant, right? Exports at the moment, though, are only power. And that's because while we are no longer buying fuel, we are no longer selling oil either. So we got to get that money back. We got to get that revenue back. Because at the moment, taking away that expense does not offset the revenue we were getting. We were actually making more from selling oil than we were buying, than the cost we had for buying fuel. So let's change that a little bit. At the moment, we're bringing in bitumen pretty fast. Certainly faster than we can ship it. And over here, it's at 115 units, or 115 tons. This is our vehicle, and you can see that on a full load, it's like 7,000 rubles worth. That's basically, for what we had before, that's like six and a half trucks loaded with oil and sending it to the border. One bitumen truck will do the same amount of money. So what we want to do is go ahead and unload here, that's fine, but your second run, you're going to load this again, and you're going to take it to the border. Right? That's going to be your new route. You're going to unload bitumen at the border. Okay? So, and I'm going to have you start that right now. That's fine. Because you don't need to unload the rest of this. We're good on there for a while. Then what I want to do is I'm going to come over and I'm going to copy this route to a second truck. So this truck is going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to have you start on an import. Have you start on the export. So I can get more money. Okay? Next, like I said before, we can get around 39, 40 workers or so. That's the equilibrium in which oil is coming in roughly the same speed as we're able to process it. Okay, so you can see with 46 workers here, the oil supply in the import is just barely going down. And so if we can get it to about 40, 42, yeah, right about there, this is where it starts to equal out. And you can see that it's really kind of balanced. Looks like maybe 35 is the number. Okay, so that's what we want to keep. Now I'm going to leave this as 80 maximum workers because there's times where we're way under 35, and of course we want to take advantage of any time we can get more than 35 to equal out this tank. So assuming we can keep this around 35 workers, on average over the long term, we have what is essentially 100% efficiency to converting our oil right now. Because again, if you add more workers to this, you're just going to run out of oil, right? So we have to scale up our workers as we scale up our oil. And that's going to let us have enough fuel in the tank here for my fuel rats, which is now located here right next to this, by the way. I was trying something, it didn't work. I moved them over here. So fuel rats is right here. And they grabbed their supply from here. So everything's fine. So anyway, that's the long story short on what's going on with my economy at the moment, okay? We got this this tank done here, which is good. We're starting to get this pipe made. That's great. And we're also seeing that they're laying out stuff here as well. So just letting them kind of get to work on getting the water supply to this building will help us as well, because people don't have a good, reliable source of water here right now. I'm hoping with the sale of bitumen coming in, which is going to take a while because these guys move really slow on dirt roads, and also it's the snow, but if we can get things to be... See, you say you're going to the customs house, but you're turning right here. You're trying to get to this plowed road, aren't you? Well, all right then. This thing has... Oh, you have fuel. Oh, interesting. Okay, here's what I want you to do instead. I want you to unload your fuel here. You're going to unload your fuel here, and then you're going to go to this. All right. We're going to make that your route for now, and then keep an eye on this thing here, okay? Got a few things to keep an eye on today. So anyway, that's the state of this. As we have more and more buildings going and building and stuff, right, you have to kind of scale that up appropriately. So if here, for example, we have 15 workers in our food factory, I was running out of food, and I actually, this right here kind of ran out of food in late December. It's okay, we had some in here to import into it, and of course this over here still has plenty of food in it. So we had that buffer zone. That's why I did the warehouse connected to this. It gives us that buffer zone. But it's a warning, right, that we have to start scaling up how many workers we have. So if we need more workers in here, we need to do that. So I'm going to say 20 workers here just to try to make that happen. Clothing factory is doing 30. Fabric factory is doing 15. I think that's probably an okay ratio here, depending on whether or not they stay... whether or not they stay in these buildings and actually work them. But with the amount of crops we bring in, which is actually quite good, we have a lot of crops. And in fact, this is almost full, and then we have a good amount of crops in here. It's just, again, it's a worker shortage. So we're going to focus on that in a second. Next, I want to get this building done. This is the prefabs building, and we want to get this to be the big priority for them. At least, I'm going to say medium, actually, because I think the houses I want to build are going to be a bigger priority for people. Real quick, go ahead and do this. We're having power problems again. No, we shouldn't. No, we should absolutely not have power problems. Don't lie to me. We must have had like a small gap in workers. When the winter is done, man, everything gets better when the winter completes. Like, everyone moves so much better. I've just been trying my best not to have snowplows, because it's just extra vehicles, extra maintenance, extra fuel, etc. All that stuff is just so extra. So I've been trying not to do that. Now that this is unloaded, we can get rid of this stop and just have it go exactly where it's doing anyway. Okay. So we're out of money. I'm going to take a loan. 2.6 million in debt. Sounds great. I'm going to do 1.48. Take the maximum I can here. And we're going to eliminate this one for now. So let's say 1429449. Give us 50K more, okay? Still selling. Okay. What I want to do next So we're going to start this. I actually will make this high priority for now so they do it. Hopefully they do it. What I want to do next is focus on the expansion of housing. Okay, so initially I was going to use the Dnipro flats because they're awesome. Unfortunately, they're also awesomely expensive. 490 tons of concrete each, 185 tons of steel each. They're great for having like nearly 600 workers in a very dense place. Very tall. They work really well. I like it. However, like that steel cost this is not something I can overcome. So we're going to use these same flats as we did at the start of the stream series when we first made our town. We're going to use these. 7.7 tons of steel each is great. They only do 180 workers, but we can line them up flat, which is great. Before we line these up flat, though, there's something else I have to do. I want a passenger rail station to come through here. I want passenger rail transport through here so that we can transport a lot of people all around our republic over to here, over towards scrapping, move between these two cities, and also to get people over to steel, which is where we're eventually going to have our big steel mill is over there. So I want to move them with the rail. And we have a rail coming through here. That's known. All right. And we have the track builders. Our new track builder. It's been doing work for us. I don't know if you can see. I did stop this one. It started this. I stopped it because I don't actually know if I want this like this. Like I think I might actually want this to come over and merge sooner. Like I might want this to merge here. Like leave a 150 meter gap, right? But have it merge before this road, I think. We'll see. I haven't quite decided that yet. So I kind of put a stop to that. There's a little bit of deconstruction to do, but it's not that bad. In any case, I want a passenger rail coming through here. And I think I want it to run right behind the police station. So if I had this passenger rail running in a straight line right behind that police station, it should look a little bit like this. Okay. And then we'll come all the way up like this, and we're good there. All right. So I think this is where I want my rail running for passengers, which means this is my intersection point. And I could maybe curve this a little bit. It does look like it's not quite straight. It's straight with the police station, but it doesn't look like it's quite straight with this. I think it'll be okay, though. Then we want a nice gradual curve over to this, if it'll let me. Let's just kind of do that. There we go. And then a curve over like that. Okay, go ahead and mark that. And let's get rid of any extra points that we don't need. There we go. And there we go. Okay. Looking pretty good. And this will end up being an intersection later on. But I'm going to let this keep going for now. I don't want to make the intersection if I can help it. Although, I will say that in order to know where my buildings can go and where my rail has to go, I do kind of need the intersection started. So how about I just start it on this side? Say it can go here. Like that. And then we'll have it start from this side, go. I want the triangles to be... They're not really triangles. What shape is that? Like it's you know, you got two straight sides with a 90-degree angle, but then instead of a triangle, you got this sort of concave sort of side. What do they call that shape? I mean, don't get me wrong, I studied geometry in school at some point. But hey, I'm 36, almost 30, very close to 36. And let's just say it's been a hot minute since I've studied geometry. So if you know the answer to that, leave it in the comments where awesome things happen, where engagement happens and things help the algorithm. There you go. I'm trying to get them to be equal. I know it doesn't matter, but I mean, I don't know. To some people it does. And you know, right now I'm one of those people. I don't know why, but right now I'm one of those people. So there. These are pretty much the same size. They're not going to be exact because there's not technically 90-degree angles on these two rails, but it's fine. So that's where our junction is going to be. Okay, now by doing this, I probably messed up the track builder. Yeah, he's going to have to restart. That makes sense, I guess. Are you... Yeah, this whole segment, you have to restart doing that. That's fine. You'll get up to here. And I really want you to focus always on going this way. So keep going that direction as long as you can, okay? High priorities all the way through here, okay? You working on a different track now? Oh, you're going a different direction now. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe you guys should be getting a different rail done. How about that? How about you get this rail done instead? Yeah, maybe the high priority one instead, sillies. And that one, fine, cool. And then the ones later on. I'm trying to get them to focus on the rail going that way as fast as possible because that's where my steel is going to be, and I want to be able to move resources that direction. Okay, so on this side over here, thankfully we got to that fire in time. On this side right here, we want to have a little bit of space because I kind of need a culture building. I've been looking at this and I'm thinking, like, what are people's needs and everything? All my culture buildings are kind of over here, okay? Even the one that's not built yet because it's 128 tons of steel. 26, whatever. All culture buildings are over here. So I want something cultural over here. And I was debating on what that would be. And was thinking about Republic Theater, but this is an inferior building. In fact, in my opinion, you should never use this building. Here's why. 282 tons of concrete, 45 tons of steel, takes 20 workers, and you only get 100 visitors. Or, assuming you have the Ukraine DLC, that would be required. Highly recommended, by the way. Support that. It's $10, but, you know, supposedly it's non-profit. So, concert hall, Ukrainia. I bought it. It's right here. Half the concrete, less than half the concrete. 27 tons of steel instead of the 45. It has 10 workers that serve 200 people. So half the workers and double the visitors. And pretty much the same space. I think it's a objectively better building in almost every single way. So we're going to place this objectively better building right about here, I think. Should be good. Yeah, right about here should be fine. All right. So right on the edge there, this is going to give me sort of my window, my gap here where my rail can go, okay? And it's not quite straight, is it? You know what? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Life's not about being straightened and proper and in perfect angles and, all right? Sometimes you just got to explore. Oh, speaking of explore, real quick, I just want to explore what's happening over here. So 35, good. We're balanced as things should be. Fantastic. This is efficient. I know it says 35 people and this thing can do maximum 500, but you have to look at the supply of oil you're bringing in. If you're not bringing enough oil, there's no reason to have more people. So this right here is perfectly efficient and balanced as it should be. Hopefully we can see good amounts of fuel being produced, enough to where we can start filling this tank, and then maybe we can sell a little bit of the fuel. Not just sell the bitumen, right? But our budget should be good, right? Made $13,000 last month, but we didn't actually make any because, interest is not included in that mouse over. All right, so what I want to do is I want to say train platform. I want to line it up with the rail if I can, this looks pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. I'm going to move it up a little bit. The further up this way I move, the more of those guys can access the rail, okay? So if I zoom out a little bit, right? If we get up to like right here, look at all those people that can do this. And actually, it's going to be more than that because I have to get the walking paths to be right. But it's even more than that. Unfortunately, though, we have to also move the track through there too. So I'm going to move this down about like here. I think we'll be okay, and then maybe slide it over just a tad to maybe like here. All right. Now the trick here is this far enough away from this rail to allow me to connect a walking path through it? Because you can be too close, and this is going to allow me to do it, right? But if I was to say put the building closer to the rail, let's say this rail was a little bit closer. Let's say we did that, right? If I wanted to make a walking path now, it's going to tell me that it's too close to the rail and it won't allow me to cross. This has nothing to do with being 3 rails and everything to do with this connection point being too close to this rail. So there's a balance you have to get when you're placing these. You can't place them too close, otherwise you won't get your walking path connections to go across the rail. This just happens to be good, so I'm going to let that go. Next, we want to see how it connects. So we're going to be using train sets here. And train sets, I want to say they're like 80 meters long, 90 meters long, something like that. Train sets. So I was going back and forth with metro or trains, right? Passenger trains. And I've decided on trains instead of the metro. One, the metro trains themselves happen a little later. But in addition to that, the metro trains themselves, while they do tend to be cheaper a little bit for, what they do. They don't use your existing infrastructure. You need exclusive infrastructure for them. And I think I can save a lot of resources by using these slightly more expensive trains relative to how many people it can move, because it uses existing infrastructure. And then later on, when we go to electric, we just flip the switch and start making electric ones. We don't actually flip the switch, right? We have to actually, build it out. And metro lines are all electric. And so because metro is all electric, I would have to electrify those lines, and electrical components are incredibly expensive. So I've decided we're going to go with train sets. The train sets, they are just like a grouping of trains, sometimes multiple cars, but they all have a length. And 77 meters is this one, 80 meters is this one, 79, 81. So we're looking at like 81 as the longest one. We'd obviously still want to go for one that's maybe cheaper. I'm probably going to start with this one. It's 156,000. I'll need to buy like 3 of these things eventually for the things I already have planned in my head, but we're going to need even more than that. And these train sets, you can also, I believe anyway, attach passenger wagons to them, which adds more capacity, and it's just not an engine. So you can actually move people this way too. And it may be cheaper to buy a locomotive and attach passenger wagons to it. It may be cheaper to do that than it is the train set. I'll take a look at that at the time. But the important thing here is that the length, right? So we're going to say maybe if we added 3 of these things, that's going to add 75 meters to the length of something that's already, 77 meters. So let's spitball it here and say 150 meters, just like the distribution office, is what we want to account for, okay? Just to be on the safe side for distance. So the reason why that's important is because we have this bypass track, and we want the trains to stop here, but when they stop, we don't want them to be in the way of anything else, because this passenger stop is also sharing cargo, right? This entire rail network is already planned out, by the way. I just have to build it in, and I'm going to show you incrementally as we go throughout the series. And the entire thing, just like the stream series, is designed to work fluidly and flawlessly with the train distribution office. So we're going to be using train distribution. I'm a big fan of it. I think it works really well, and I'm designing the tracks specifically with that in mind. And we're going to be using multiple offices there. That means you have multiple different types of trains, variable lengths of trains, variable speeds, types, etc., all with different kinds of cargo, all going different places. So we need to be able to design a track that's very flexible and allows anything to get anywhere it needs to go. So that means we want to have this track kind of not get in the way of that, right? Because there's trains moving through here. Distribution office trains are never going to be more than 155 meters long. So as long as we leave adequate space for that, we should be fine. We also want to make sure that we don't put junctions too close together, at least having a minimum of 155 meters of space between the signals. But we can, of course, accommodate much larger distances between the signals, and I'd like to do that too. So on this side, I think we're probably good to just go ahead and connect it. So we're going to go over and do probably about like this. I like the way that looks as it crosses the road like that. So we'll go like do this. We'll have our signals on this side, no big deal. Now over here, though, might need to, I thought we were going to have to make concessions to get around that. But we're going to have to make considerations here because it's getting close to this intersection, okay? Now this intersection, we'll have signals right around here, okay? And by doing that, let's see, go ahead and, right about there. See, it's 89 meters or so. So that's 131. We want to go 155 at the absolute minimum between intersections. And you see that's a little bit short. You can't just do that, okay? So, because then there's not enough room for a longer, like, expanded train to pull in here to drop off passengers. Now, on this side, the length of the station does count. So they'll be coming in here, and the train is already at 82 meters when it pulls in here. So a train set is just kind of built to occupy only the station. But if we end up adding additional cars to it, we want to make sure that that train does not exceed 155 meters is what we were looking at, right? So right about there. That's perfect for the signal being after the road. So the train, if it's longer, can drop people off, and it doesn't interfere with this, and it doesn't interfere with this. So this is approved. A-okay. Now on this side, though, like I said, we can't really just go super short. I'm not going to do this. I can't even do that. I can't do that either. I have to go at minimum here. That's too close, right? 155 minimum. So what we'll do is we're going to pull this train out like this. Out like this, okay? Then we're going to meet up with this right there. And we're going to meet up with you right there. Now, I did say you don't want intersections too close. However, if you make them really close together, you can actually just have them become one, which is what we did in the stream series. So this is not one intersection, two intersections. This is just one intersection. And the signals are going to be back here. So now the train that's waiting to go through this intersection is going to stop right here. Well, now we have a different problem. If that train is stopping right here to go through this intersection, it's going to block this road. So if we're blocking this road, we at least need to make sure that this is not a very big, main road to get stopped at. So we need to make sure that most of the traffic is heading through other places. There's going to be certain instances where I can't necessarily avoid it, but in this case, we can avoid that problem by having the signals be back here instead. So if I'm putting the signals way back here, at least for the train that's coming this direction, we'll put the signal right here. If I do that, then it won't block this road, but it will still wait to get through this intersection. It'll just take it a while. Once it's this train's turn, it'll just take it a while to actually get through the intersection. But we can still make that work because there's no road here, and this whole train can wait on this no problem. So that's how we're going to play that off, okay? Again, 155 meters is what we would want there, and we have more than enough space between these 2 points at 235 to even have a slightly longer train be waiting here. So that's how we have to plan this out. I could also make this intersection smaller. Legit could do that because this intersection right now, if I had the signal here, we're at 49 meters. I mean, I guess I could realistically get that intersection to maybe be here, but if I made this like tighter, but it's not going to make a big difference, right? The train is still going to be, again, a maximum of 155. You're still, the ass end of this train is still going to be sitting right about here. So there's nothing I can do about that except moving it back, and that's what I'll do. I'll put the signal right here. Okay, so that's the plan. Signal's going there. All the rails are kind of marked in. We know where this is going to be. So the next step is, where's our houses going to be, right? So here's what I want. We're not using the Dnipro flats. We're using this, and we're going to place this right here. Let's line this up with the tracks. We're going to want some space in this, and I think probably if we line this up with the road, might make more sense. No, we're going to line it up with the track. That's what makes sense. So we'll probably put it about here. But I'm curious. I want to get walking paths through here too. So I need a couple of things to happen with walking paths. First walking path I need is from this thing to go up to about here. Second one I need is for this path to come out this way, all the way out. And yes, we're using asphalt for this. That's fine. And then also asphalt to here. There we go. Almost. You can do it. There you go. So weird. Then what I want to do is I want to put a walking path right alongside that rail, so everybody can just walk right alongside the rail. We're also going to do this on the other side too. So we're going to have two walking paths that kind of go out this way. But I think for this one, I want it to just go straight around. So we're going to say that you go up and then you go straight over. What I'm hoping to do is to get you, yep, like that. Like that. Then this path is going to go out and meet up there. Then this path is going to meet there. By doing that, I should now be able to get any houses I put in this area to be not only be able to get to the bus, but also potentially be able to get to other places, like the sports complex. So they have access to the sports complex, which is barely ever used. We're going to have a lot of people here. They're going to start using it, okay? So with that being done, let's get the other walking path. I think maybe I could do one more. If I could get this to cross over, that'd be great. Maybe like this. Yeah, that'd be fine. All right, right about... come on. I think that'll be okay. And then I want this, again, to come right across here. I would love it to be right on the rail. Would be awesome. Yeah, like that. Right on the rail, man. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Good. And then you are going to do the same thing on this side. Like that. Outstanding. So with those marked, let's go ahead and delete this and delete this. And we probably want to do this during the day because it's easier. I think it is anyway. We also want to delete that. All right. Everything's connected. So let's take our houses. Find them eventually. And we're going to go like this. We're going to say we want to go 2, 3, leave a little bit of a gap here. Yep. 4, leave a space. There we go. 5, 6, leave a space. 7, 8, 9. I fit 10 in here? Yikes. You know, let's save that space for like other types of buildings and stuff. Since it has road access, we might need to deliver something here. And leave that open for the sake of road access. Also, power routing and things like that is way easier if we leave spaces near the roads. So we'll just do that. However, we're also going to leave space here. So in addition to by that road, I also want to come out, leave a space. Let's say, not sure how far. So let's maybe go here. Oh, if I can get the sewage connection too, that's awesome. And the power connection. All right, we'll do it like right here then. That might be enough space. We're going to do new power connections anyway. I'm not going to bother with that one. But the sewage I definitely want. Okay, right there. And then we're going to do about like this. Yep, right there is good. 2. We're starting to get a little bit like not lined up with the buildings anymore. I don't know if I left too much space or what, but we're starting to not be lined up anymore. I want to leave a space. I want this to be here. So I guess I need to get this one much closer so that I can get the other one in matched up. That would be about right there. Yep. And then right about here. I can't use the grid before anyone says anything. You can't use the grid here. The grid is diagonal, so it's not going to allow me to line them up the way I want. It's just the way my Republic is, okay? My Republic is not very grid friendly, okay? And that's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. It's okay with me, and therefore it is okay. All right. So this is 18 houses with 180 worker capacity each. I need to focus people down. I need to focus certain buildings down. So I'm going to pause it really quick just so I can get that done. We're going to use a dirt road here just to kind of get people in. And I want this to be straight. So the best way I found to make it completely straight is to look at it from this angle, right? So like you're looking at it down the barrel of a gun kind of thing, right? And then what I like to do from this angle is, if I can get it to line up, that's about good, is I want to just bring it out this way. If there's trees in the way, then what you can do is you can move them out of the way real quick. And then you can just pull that back and then start again. But now I can see the walls of the road, if you will. I can see the edges. And I can kind of get a feel for how long it is. I make really long stretches of road, thousands of meters long sometimes. If the mountain wasn't there, I could go even further. But so we'll go out about this far. And I like that. So that'll be how we do this. And eventually we'll get that all paved and everything too. But this is a straight road from there. Okay? And we'll do the same thing for this area here. And probably have another one right here. But I want a roundabout to be here. So we're going to place a roundabout in this spot. And I also want a roundabout to be over here. So there's 2 places where the roundabout has to happen. And we're going to say that the roundabout center of it is going to be about at the end of where the center of it needs to be where those roads meet, but also where these roads too here meet. So we'll pull this back a little bit. And then we'll have another roundabout right here. It's going to be a smaller one. We don't need a bigger one here. It's a lower traffic road. At least I hope it is. I'm planning on it being a lower traffic road. If it's a higher traffic road, I might be in trouble here, but I'm hoping it's lower traffic. I'm going to go a little bit bigger here, though, unfortunately. Well, that's an interesting... You know, it's so interesting, it just might work. I think I'm going to let that be. I wanted to let it be, but there's those 2 points right next to each other, and I was hoping to delete them. And now it says it's too sharp of a turn. Well, whatever. You were fine with it a little bit ago. There you go. That's fine. There. So the little roundabout here is kind of squirrely and weird, but I'll take it. And then these two would connect. On this side, we'll have a double road. So one would go this way. I'll just mark it here like this. One would go... Leave a little bit of a gap here. One would go here. I like a bigger gap. Yeah, right here. One right there and one right there. Okay, and then we'll have you go and curve. See, it's this point right here. It needs to be removed. Okay, good. And then right there, yep. And then over here, we need to remove that point. You have to have 2 points. So as long as you have these 2 connections, I can remove that one. Every road needs 2 points. So there we go. And then same thing here. I can make that straight, hopefully. Yeah, that's pretty straight. Looks good. And then you're gonna say, go here. That's good for me. And that's good for thee. There we go. And that's not. That's really, really stupid. So we're not gonna do that. There we go. And no, still, really, you're still like, this is what you come up with as the solution to go from here to here. I swear the road tools in this game are just the worst. They are the worst. Put them back. All right, let's line it up with this really quick. I know you guys hate watching me make roundabouts, right? I've heard that comment already too. Like, you can just place roundabouts off camera, that's fine. And then the comment right below them is, actually, I want to see everything. Okay, so that's taken care of. Actually, it was quite easy. We have only a single road here, as you know, and I'm going to keep that way. The reason I have a double road here is because we're going to have some industry over here so that these guys can, you know, get certain services and stuff. And so there's a reason why cars would come this way. I'm hoping that trucks end up coming from this side. But to be fair, I think because the resources are over here, they may choose to drive this road. What I'm going to try to do to counter that, though, is to make these asphalt, right? And then have this be gravel. Maybe I can counter that by encouraging trucks to use the one-way lanes or whatever, the 4-lane roadways. I can encourage them to use these on an asphalt, and they don't have to necessarily all come over here. If there's a resource and it's legitimately closer here, then they'll still do it. But I'm hoping the majority of cars come from this side. Okay, so the next thing is to connect all these up and where they need to be so that we can start building them. Because at the moment, I can't even connect them. I can't even tell my construction offices to do things. And I think because it's because the winter is over, probably don't need to monitor the power stations anymore. So we're probably fine there. I do want to check this really quick. And they are cruising on it. Okay, cool. That's my prefabs right there. Actually, one more thing I can do. Let me just check this really quick. So we're at 289. I'm thinking I can probably have another vehicle taking oil out of this. So we have extra cisterns and stuff. And I'm going to have this one come over and do the same route it's already doing. But instead of this stop, you're gonna come here. And you're just going to load oil from here instead. And then you're going to go and do that. So just going to get one more truck to go out and get oil and send it out there. Because that is working, right? Having bitumen and oil exported is a very good thing we can do. Because we had oil exports, and I took them away. And now we don't have to worry about taking them away. There's actually fuel going in here now, too. Oh, okay. I see. I don't see. Why are you... Okay, I guess you just like intermittently send it here through the piping network. I get it. You just like, you only work when you have to kind of thing. Fair enough. And then this pump is going to be very important because it's going to allow us to send send fuel. Oh, I picked the wrong one. I picked the wrong one. I did the wrong one here. I was supposed to do a splitter, not a merge. And I did a merger here instead. That sucks. Because, well, I guess I could always do it. Yeah, I can always do it directly from the tank. The problem is, though, is that I was hoping I wouldn't have to make another pump. So the idea was that from this sends it through. We get priority send here. But if this is full, then we also send that way, which would get it another tank right here, which would give me access to the unloading and loading for the trains later. But that's not going to happen now. I'm going to have another pump because I'm not going to rebuild that. All right. So over here, trying not to get distracted. Over here, I'm going to start with dirt paths just so we can get constructions going first. But right about here, we're going to go all the way across to this road, connect there. And then right about here, we're going to go all the way across to this road, connect here. I'm wondering if that's too close. I bet you it is. Let's go a little bit further away. Right about there, okay? I know it's nighttime again. So we have the little extra spaces right through here, and that's so that we can get these paths to come through. So there, and also through like that is probably okay. All right, so those paths, they don't go directly through the center, but that's okay. Then this goes directly that way, and this will go that way. All right, so with these connected, I'm going to start getting construction going on these 4 places here. All right, so we're going to say that construction should now begin on these 4 houses here. Now, we also need all of these asphalt walking paths done. So let's get that going there, there, there. And then I want this one done, and this one done. We should be able to have everything we want. The cake is there. It is not a lie. We can have it. And we can eat it too. At least I hope we can. Research. Let's go down pollution basic so we can learn more about pollution. And I'm going to do basic fire prevention as well, because I think that's an important thing to get to know. We got our lazy track builder doing things. What's our big track builder doing? It's going down the other set of tracks, which I didn't know it was doing, but oh my gosh, is it getting... I don't want it to do this. Please don't do this. Can you go down this way instead? Yeah, go down this way instead. Let's get this one done. And then the train depot is going to be over here. I'm kind of really iffy on where this has to go. Like, I just don't like my options on where I'm trying to bring this, but it's a train depot. It's just a place where the trains go, but they also are going to get repaired there. So I was thinking, you know, what's the balance here? Hello? What's happening here? What are you doing? You ran out of fuel? Like, I don't get it. You too? Well, that's weird. I mean, they belong in this office, and they can refuel in this office. But they just lined up there. Very strange. Anyway, I'm thinking I want the train depot to be back over in here. I was, again, concerned about getting in the way of power. But I've decided, like, I can always put a switch here instead, and then the lines can just cross each other. They do it all the time. I don't need the switch to be here. So we're going to have a train depot, sorry. We're going to do 2 things here. One is I want a simple wood track would be fine in this area. So we'll have a wood track placed here and here. Wooden traffic crossing is fine. If I have to electrify it, then I'll just electrify it later too. It's fine. And then from this point, I want the train track. We'll go ahead and do steel here just so it's a faster electrification, I guess. Ah, shit. Whatever, just do it. All right, fine. And then this one will go out this way. Okay, it's, again, just a train depot. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. And it's going to come out around here, and then we're going to say that the long train depot... We're doing a long train depot. And we're going to put this right here. Right about here should be fine. There's no power added here. But we might be able to get that later. Get that added later. Let's go high priority there and there. And I guess I do. Yes, I want you to do this. And then these guys are supposed to be on auto search, which is why they've been dinking around with tracks I didn't know they were dinking around with. They're on auto search, but they're not really finding all the tracks I want them to find. So go back and do this and keep going. Por favor. And then once this is built, which is going to be off of this road, we're going to have you, I think, go this way. Doesn't have to be gravel, does it? We could actually just come out this way. Make it a gravel road. Why not? Because it's a waste of resources. That's why not. Yeah, because we don't need to. It's a dirt road. Is fine, especially in this position. So there we go. All right, dirt road there, and then we'll have our construction offices going with this one here too. So start laying my excavators. If you could kindly start laying the groundworks for that, I would appreciate it. So where is my prefab guy? Right here. All right, so the prefabs are going to start bringing steel, and that's good. We have enough prefabs, 233 tons. I actually have a truck that's dedicated to buying these at the border, and we should have, if I take a look at my budget, it's March 9th. Let's look at February. We should have imported. We didn't import any prefabs. Did I take him off of it already then? I must have. I must have taken him off of it already. Yeah, I did. I put him. I told him to go nothing. Okay, right here. Good. What are you guys gonna do? I feel like I want to put these vehicles to work, but I have nothing for them to do other than selling bitumen, which we could still do, I guess. There's 115 tons of fuel here. That's pretty good. We're gonna get to the point where we can sell this. I just know it. Or we might already be there. Maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll say, let me just see what happens. If I load fuel, all right, wait till loaded, go over here, unload, and then come over here and do nothing. Let me see how much money I can make by doing this. And then we're probably going to want, I think, we're going to want a turnaround point, which is what we have right here. Okay. We're going to want 2 of these turnaround points, but we're going to want them to be one-way. Each of them are going to be a one-way. At the moment, this is not a one-way road, so they could just go here. But eventually, this will all be one-way roads. And we'll have like certain, you know, dirt-based turnaround points, I suppose, just to like let people turn around where they don't have to go all the way to the roundabout. It should be pretty low traffic doing that. But I want to see how much a full truck is actually worth right now. So it's actually more beneficial for us to sell the bitumen than it is to sell the fuel. But incrementally, I could totally sell the fuel. So let's add another cistern to this route that's doing this with the bitumen. So where is my... Surely there's a... Right here, you. I want to add this route to this one. And then we'll have you start the route too. There you go. Off you go. Sell more bitumen, please. Outstanding. All right, starting to do all the work necessary for these. Currently in my republic, we're kind of population locked. We can't grow at all because we have no housing for them. This is going to greatly expand that. We are not going to invite new people. All right. I'm not going to pay for new people unless it's with dollars. I'm open to spending dollars on new people because I have lots of them still. But they will have to be able to access a school, which is right here. And after all these walking paths are done, they'll totally be able to get there. Every single one of them should be able to reach the school once this is done. At the moment, they can't because they're not connected. I need all these connection points to exist so I can make sure they can actually reach it. We can also do things like, you know, making these little areas here so they can cross earlier. Not everybody has to cross at the same time, right? That's pretty good. That works for me. And then I should be able to see this and go, bam. All right, 323 meters is all you can go. Why? Because it's dirt paths. So we need to increase that by having asphalt paths and things. And eventually all of these walking paths will be asphalt. But just for the sake of construction, just for the sake of getting these guys built and getting them to this bus stop so we can have more people working in places, just for that, I'm doing that. Now, of course, we need heat here. This is going to be covered by this one. And we have a lot of different connections here, so we're most likely going to need to help that as well. So I'm going to plan on getting another heat exchanger. And I think maybe it'd be better to have it on this side just to like expand to this direction. But you can also, of course, help these. So I'm thinking maybe we get a little, oh, maybe over here near the roundabout, but not exactly. Ooh, I could just stuff it right here. That's okay. I can dig that. Is it too... No, it's not too bad. That's good. We'll put this right here. Right against where this roundabout is. should be able to connect it, but it doesn't look like it wants to. Well, I'm sure there's a place I can put this where it will. Yeah, like that. There. So this will need to be connected with a heating pipe. We're going to do the 300 cubic meter one. Yep. And then we're going to place this. This is our expansions. So we're going to come out with this pipe. I could make this clean and go like that, but I think it's technically a longer pipe to do that. It's always better, in my opinion, to go in a straight line to where you want to go. Just less distance. However, it looks to me like this is going to be barely too long. Wow. What the heck's going on here? 871, 920, 976. Building in the way. I still think this is going to be too long. If I do this right here. Yep. So I'll either need a pump or I need to move this. And I opt to move. When in doubt, just move it. So I'm going to move you. I need to move you into here, it looks like. Into the middle. That's a bit of an issue because there's no road connection through here. And I'm not planning on putting a road connection in here. I could put this here, but that's not going to help me either. Maybe I could find... let's see. Where could I do this? Let's get my measurement tool out here. So from this connection point here, from there, I want to go 1,000 meters is my distance. So it's right about here is as long as it'll go. I could put it on this side at this point, but it doesn't go this way enough. So maybe I am using the pump here. I think I am. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to use a pump. Now, does the pump require... Small one is roads, and so is the big one then. They still need a road connection. So I need to put a road connection maybe on this side. That helps me pump the heat a little bit further. So we'll put this, I guess, maybe right here. Yeah, it's going to have to be maybe like right here. Put it right up against and then just kind of slap it right there. It's fine. Crossing not allowed. Oh, it's just a walking path. Yeah, well, fine. Just do it there. We need this to be constructed, and I'm also going to need the heating pipe to start working too. So we want the 300 cubic meter one, and one more time, bring this out, and we pop it right here. No? Into there. Building in the way again. At 2. Wow, what's in the way? Oh, it's this thing. Huh. Sometimes I can get around that, and sometimes I can't. Okay. You know what? Tell you what. Why don't we... I'm just going to pick off the middle one, but I think I'm just going to go around this thing. So we'll go like this. And then through here and to the pump, which is right here. Ooh. Fancy. Okay, it's right there then. We got to navigate around the oil pipes, but that should be all right. And so this ends up being a total of 92 tons of steel. Good Lord. That's expensive, and it's not even done yet. Because I want to put that heat exchanger right back here. I still like where that is. And we're going to put it right here. Kind of want it on the other side. Now that I have the pump, I might as well. Put it on the other side. Just gives it a little more range in this direction. Is going to help me a lot. More range I can put over here, the better. Let's plan that, actually. Well, we'll say we want a school. We'll do the long school, maybe. We do the school, like, over here. Nah. Let's get a big one. We have a big one here, too. I've talked about orphanages in the past. I do plan to use them, but just not right now. It's not important right now. I don't care right now. When we get a lot of people, then I'll start using them, especially when I want population growth. Then I'll start using them. At the moment, I want population growth, but I have no place for them to go, so it doesn't matter. So we're gonna say school. This is a big school, really big school, and I think the real big school is probably a good thing to put here. So we're gonna say big school. It's between all the roads and stuff, right? So this is actually gonna be pretty helpful. Let's put it right here. Oh, look at that. It lines up with those 2 walking paths. Actually, If it lines up with those two, I wonder if I can put right here. This would be a good spot for it, actually, a pub. Pub could go right here. Do you fit here? It's like it's meant to be. Right there. A little pub in between the walking paths. That's going to look solid, and everybody can access it. Yep, everybody can get to it. Even the train. How about that? With dirt roads, dirt paths. Very good. All right, so pub right there. Now they don't have to worry about this one getting overloaded and people not being able to get there. So big school for lots and lots of kids. They will be able to access the train station as well eventually. Not right now, but eventually they will. And what we can do then is we'll put next to this, not done yet with my roundabout, I guess. Right here, we'll put this road out this way. And right next to it, like so. Okay. Maybe I even put a space through here. I've been wanting to do this, but I just haven't gotten the right chance to do it, and this might be my chance. If I bring you out like this, I want to put you... I want to have two roads that are parallel like this, but they're spaced out a bit more. I want them to have a gap between them so that I can place other cool things, like maybe a train or power lines or just trees. Make an avenue kind of thing, you know, a separator kind of thing. I could even have an 8-lane road kind of thing. I could do something like this. I could say, hey, why don't we go like this and have both of these be one direction and then both of these be the other direction with 1-lane roads going around between them for like people turning around and having to merge into different lanes. So I could do like something like this, for example, where there's like little merger points where if you're on this one, you can merge to this one and vice versa to kind of get around where you want to go. All right. I kind of wanted to play around with how traffic works with this, make thicker roads. But this one is nice, I think, because I can put trees between it. It might be a little bit spaced out. The important thing is I have time to figure that out, so it's not a big deal. But we're going to put the heat exchanger over here now. Put it right next to the school. I think would be really good. Right about here. No? What, flippy flip? There you go. Flippy flip. Flippy flip works. Right there next to the school. Should be sufficient. And then we can get that 300-meter pipe again. Cubic meter pipe, whatever. And we can bring this over to here. Perfect. All right. Now, we can also, even though this is 300 and this is 300 to get there, it doesn't necessarily need the full 300 all the time until it starts working like a horse. So I could also get a small heat exchanger and put that over here and help out this one. Help that other small exchanger again. It's doable, right? So I could get, maybe put it over here where it's not going to be super in the way. There's power lines there, so I have to watch that. But if I could get this to fit in here somewhere. Those power lines are just in the way, aren't they? Well, it's an idea, right? I have the ability to take a pipe from here, and then I can bring it over, I think. Let me double check that, because I don't know. Yeah, I could do the small pipe or the big one, so it doesn't matter. Perfect. All right, so that's the plan to heat the place. The plan for sewage, I believe, is this entire thing reaches every single one of those houses. That was what I was hoping for, and that other one over there is 300 meters away, just enough for that sewage tank to cover it, so we don't even have to run plumbing to our new place. Fantastic. For water, it's also very easy. We have a water substation we can place in the middle here because it's a walking path connection, but we also have a separate reservoir that's been built, which is right there. And this reservoir was built a long time ago. We had one there and one there, right? And so this whole thing kind of whips around with pumps instead of switches, yada, 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 and ends up in here. So this reservoir now needs a pump to pump it into wherever it needs to go for all of this. And this is a reservoir for all this extra stuff. So we can now place a large pumping station out of the reservoir. And we can go and place this kind of anywhere we want. But I think maybe what I'll do is I'll place it in here. Little pumping station, maybe like right here. It's fine. There, and then we'll have a big pipe. I'm pretty sure that's what's coming out into the reservoir. We'll have a big pipe, and that big pipe will feed this on that side. That's fine. Closest point is to a straight line, right there. Okay, and then from there we go to a substation, which we could actually go to a can actually go to a small water tower too. That'd be interesting. You know, we could do like a water tower right here. I don't think anybody would, anybody from this particular area would mind that, having a tiny water tower for this whole area. Covering them? I think not. And then we'll put the substation right here next to it. And that's going to cover every house, plus the school. Yep. There we go. Put this right on this side of the road is fine. And we might as well stretch it over. Ooh, right here between these two houses. I like that. Although there needs to be a path right here. So I don't want to get in the way of any path. You could do it about like this, I guess. And this path can go through like that. All right, cool. And then you can go through here too, maybe. I don't know. You should be able to. Thought you were anyway. Can you go through here? Just want to give them options, right? Good, 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 good. All right, so they're starting to build this. They only have a little bit of steel left to deliver, a little bit of prefabs left to deliver. Unfortunately, I think we're out of steel by now because they would have delivered it over here first. This has all the steel it needs. It just needs a little more mechanical components, and we're getting very close. Said it again. Very close to having all of this done, but we're not using this building yet. The sewage system is done for this. The water is not, so we'll have to focus the water too. But that is going to be something I do, you know, probably have done between now and next video. We're almost out of steel. 13 tons of steel, and we need mechanical components, so I need to turn that back on. Unfortunately, you are a disaster. Look at you. You look terrible. You probably need to get repaired. Well, I'm not going to let you. Actually, you're a meat truck. I totally will let you. Here, come on over here, meat truck. Get yourself good. Yeah, go do things. Let's turn some prefab imports back on. 187. Sounds dangerous. This thing, again, is just sitting here. It's kind of stunned. I'm not sure what it's doing. Microbuses, they're just kind of... Wow, you're just stalled out. I don't get it. I can't stop you from just... I can't stop you from being a derp. Can you go back this way? Dude, what are you doing right now? It's like some of these vehicles are just... I can't control home them or anything. I can't tell them what to do. It's almost like he's... I mean, he's got nothing to do, but we're not getting people brought here, and now you're going to hold up this station here. What are you doing? I don't want to do the sell vehicle thing, because that costs me money to do that. I don't want to do that. Can you go back to the bus platform, please? It's not paused. It's normal speed, or faster speed even, but I just can't... I don't know. Some vehicles are just really derping out, so... It's just one of those things where it's beta, right? You gotta deal with working with beta, I guess. I suppose I'm just gonna... I don't know, if I say replace vehicle... I mean, I can't replace it with anything except another van. All right, let's buy another microbus. I didn't want to do this, but it's the only way I can get around this. Can I have a little one that's maybe not super... Yeah, you. 32, 6 years old, really cheap. Sounds good. All right, cool. You are gonna go... You are the only one, right? Yeah, you're gonna go over here. Where is it? Right there, okay? Okay, so you're gonna hopefully go there. I wanna see you now. There you go. Okay, and then I want to, real quick, go over to that derpy bus that's just sitting in the way for no particular reason. Copy your route like that, okay? And then we'll send you on your way. You're going to go to the bus platform now. And then derpy bus, I guess we take the loss to get rid of you because I can't do anything about it. You're just stalled out. So we're just going to take a little bit of a loss there. 936 rubles or whatever. There might be a way around that. If you've encountered that problem yourself, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume it's a beta issue that needs to be worked out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Got lots of fuel in here. I'm gonna let you run for a little bit to sell some fuel. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep being manually prompted every time, and that's by design. I don't want it to suck down all the fuel, but if we can get consistently this many people working in here, then I think we're going to be in great shape. I would also love to start pumping into this tank, and I need to get more workers, of course, so that we can have all sorts of resources. We can start being able to afford to export things faster. Right now, you might say, well, just get a train and then you can export things. I've had that comment too. There's no point in that if you are not producing enough to have that train export for you. So, for example, clothing. I've got a truck just sitting over there doing nothing right now. It's doing nothing. This is not it. Maybe this truck isn't doing nothing. Maybe that's why I don't have any clothes. Hang on. Is the truck still selling clothes? Maybe that's why. Yeah, I think he is. You should be... There's a truck in here that's supposed to be... Oh, it is this one. Okay, never mind. It is this one. So, this guy is supposed to be selling clothes, right? He comes to the customs office, he unloads his clothes, he picks up crops. That's been the workflow. And then you come over, you pick up more crops, and you load clothing at the warehouse. But I turned off the loading of clothing because we weren't making enough of them. And so you can see we only have 7.42. There's no point in a train grabbing 7 tons of clothes and sending it to the border, right? Like, it's cool. I don't have to do it with a truck, but I already own the truck, and the train cost me like 200 grand. Probably closer to 400 grand after you include the box cars. So there needs to be an economic reason to use the train, and that reason is you're producing a lot of stuff and you want to ship it, right? That's what we're building up to. And the last step in building that up to it is simply to have the workers to do it. So once probably this row of housing is done, I think we'll have enough people in this republic to pretty much consistently staff every building that's currently built and to be able to export pretty reliably from those buildings. And at that point, combined with our rail getting built, because, you know, we still have to have progress with the rail, plus need this in order to even buy the train in the first place, because you can't just buy the train and say, okay, do a route. You have to send it to a depot first, unless they've changed that. So you have to have the depot first. And so once all that's done, and we're making everything really reliably, then we can get the train here, and it can start selling boards, and it can start selling bricks. It can start selling prefab panels probably too. We're going to start making our own. It can start bringing us, well, it can't bring us cement. We're going to have to import cement with trucks, unfortunately. But the good news is that cement can be imported directly into this building, so we don't need this built first. And also, it's like 9.5 tons of cement, which is 1 truckload, can bring 77 tons of prefabs, which is like 6 truckloads of, you know. So it saves us a lot of trips to the border by just bringing the cement as well. So that'll work. That'll be good. And as this rail gets done, we're gonna send it that way too. Okay, so I think I've talked your ear off enough today. I think I've made this video long enough today. We're just gonna keep working this. Gonna keep building the paths and stuff. Looks like these are done. This one here is done. All these are done, so we can get started on these. I want to get started on that one. This whole path here is starting to get shaped up, so we're gonna start getting people working on these as well. Here we go. And then, you know, once we have the buildings up and running, then we can start making them asphalt, because there'll be multiple ways of getting around. So that's why I made this one asphalt, because I didn't, you know, if I lock this down, then it's going to stop buildings. These are all asphalt already, not dirt. So, you know, we can upgrade these and not have to worry about these, because these guys have their own connections on this side, which we're going to build too, like that. We just let them have that and then build them later. Okay, we're gonna have a lot of facilities through here. This little area here can have things like tennis courts and, you know, things for sports and such. So we can go over and where's this? It's right here. Like a tennis courts can be in here, right? There's space for it right there. We can do things like football playgrounds, probably a little too big. But if I remove, like, say, not that one, but maybe this one. If I remove this walking path right here, I have enough room for a football field right here, which is pretty cool. The key is we want to be able to have a lot of visitors for less workers. So 32 visitors for 4 workers is awesome. This is 3 for 15, not quite as good. 6 for 48 is okay. I think these two are pretty much on par with each other, but this one's also bigger. But it looks like it may fit here. There's probably a way to make that fit if I curve the... Ooh, actually, you know, pending construction. I bet I can fit this right there. And of course, they won't work in the winter. But in the winter, they can walk over here to the sports hall, which there's not that much to it, admittedly, not that good. So you can also ride the bus over to here, and then They have the sports dynamo right here. So they have a space to do it. They have a way to do it. But through the majority of the year when we don't have snow, I want them to be able to just get their sports fixed right there. Okay? We're cruising, guys. It's a lot of debt still, but we're cruising. We got 6 prisoners now. We're starting to get a little bit better with our criminal justice system. And I think we're starting to... well, yeah. Maybe not quite. Maybe we need a better courthouse after all. There's a big, big list of cases here that I probably should start clearing. Anything with a high limitation and a low investigation on this, I should probably just delete everything that's 0 right now. Just let them get away with it. If you're at 0, you're going to be free and clear for now. I got to start sending these guys to jail. All right. I'm loving it. I know I'm still talking your off just because I don't want to quit yet. I like playing this game, but my daughter's going to wake up any minute now. I just know it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.